With 2024 coming to a close, it's got me thinking about all the books I read this year, and these are the ones that really stuck out to me that I loved. First up here, we have Fourth Wing, which you've got dragons, a war college, romance, and magic. What's not to love? I read it earlier this year, and I'm rereading it now in preparation for the third book coming out, which is called Onyx Storm. And it leads me to Iron Flame, which is the second book in the series. So we've got the higher stakes, more dragons, romance, magic, and a lot of action. Rebecca Yarros does a great job of immersing her readers into the world that she's writing about and connecting us to her characters. I love this series, and I can't wait for next month for Onyx Storm to come out, because this book, Iron Flame, left off on a huge cliffhanger, so I am ready to delve into the third book. Next up is the Powerless series, which is a young adult fantasy romance series by Lauren Roberts, and I know this one gets some flack. People say that they find it very predictable. I thought it was pretty enjoyable. I read a lot of books that are predictable, but I still enjoy them. So this series is about a world where there was a plague, and then some people got powers, and then some people do not have powers. Our main character is a young lady who does not have any powers, but pretends that she does to get by. There are also these trials that occur, which are a way for the elites to showcase their skills and power. The last book in the series comes out later in 2025, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how everything plays out and how Lauren Roberts ends this series. Next up is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, and this book I still think about to this day. It was beautifully written, really unique story. The book takes place in a setting that is very World War I meets fantasy and has a lot of mythical undertones. So this book is about a young journalist named Iris who finds herself caught in a war between ancient gods, all the while navigating a complex relationship with her rival, who also happens to be a journalist, through a magical typewriter, which allows them to exchange anonymous letters, leading to an enemies to lovers romance, all against this backdrop of gods at war. There is a lot going on, but it is a fantastic read. Another book I really enjoyed this year was The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and I haven't really read a lot about vampires lately or in the last couple of years, so this was very refreshing and I had heard good things. So this one is about a human girl who is raised by a vampire king and has to compete in a tournament to secure her place in the vampire world. Sound like a page turner? It definitely was. Next up is Assistant to the Villain and Apprentice to the Villain. So this is a story of a girl named Evie who needs a job, and she ends up becoming the personal assistant to the notorious villain of the kingdom. And despite his reputation, she sees the softer side of her boss, which leads to an unexpected, forbidden romance. There's a lot of workplace comedy, there's a frog that communicates through signs and gestures. This is a really, really fun read. Next up is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which tells the story of Hollywood icon Evelyn Hugo, who chooses a reporter to write her tell-all biography. This biography reveals all the secrets and dark truths about Evelyn's 7 marriages, as well as discusses the secrets of her past. I do a way bigger review of this on my page, so definitely check that out if you want to hear more. And here we are, The Things We Leave Unfinished. This one was a really good book and a very emotional read, which I did know that ahead of time, but when I read it, man, it hit me. So this book has dual timelines and goes back and forth between past and present. It tells the story of Georgia, who returns to her childhood home where she discovers an unfinished manuscript by her great-grandmother Scarlett, who was a renowned romance novelist. So enter best-selling author Noah, who is brought in to finish Georgia's great-grandmother's story. As they work together to finish the manuscript, they uncover the tragic love story between Scarlett and a World War II pilot named Jameson. Like I said, this was a very emotional, fantastic book, and the twist, I can't even tell you guys about the twist. You just absolutely must read this one. You will not be disappointed. Another memorable read for this year for me was The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. This story is about 3 strangers who discover the extraordinary in their own lives while searching for a lost bookshop in Dublin. The story is told in first-person perspective from the 3 characters, named Opaline, Martha, and Henry. The two main threads of the story gradually converge as it goes on. The characters' quests for self-discovery and purpose merge as they search for the lost manuscript of Emily Bronte's second novel. This book was really different. It had fantasy-esque elements, but it was definitely placed in the real-world setting. If you're into dual timelines and different characters' lives intersecting, then this one's for you. And last but not least, one of my very top reads of this year, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This is a story about a French woman named Addie LaRue, who in 1714 makes a deal with a dark entity to escape an arranged marriage and live forever. But the catch is that everyone that she meets will instantly forget her, meaning she'll live forever, but will always be forgotten. 300 years go by and Addie is only remembered by the dark entity named Luke or Luce. She meets so many people, but they never remember her. Until 2014, Addie meets a man named Henry, who remembers her. The story really unfolds from there, and we find out why it is that Henry can remember her and everyone else cannot. This book goes back and forth between past and present, where we see Addie's life from 1714 through 2014, and then we also see what's going on in 2014. This book has just stuck with me. This theme of identity, what it means to exist and live forever, and also the beauty and pain of immortality. V.E. Schwab does just a fantastic job, and I love, love, love this book, and you need to read it if you have not. Well, that's a wrap on 2024 and all my top reads from the year. I'm super excited for 2025. There's a lot of good books coming out this year, and I know there's a bunch of books out there that I have yet to discover. Ooh, the exciting possibilities. Well, everyone, happy 2025. Here's to a year of health, happiness, and lots of reading.